Alright, well, looks like this is the end of week 5, and it really doesn't feel like it's been that long. There's been so much change and so much like new knowledge and information and new revelations and I guess just so much newness about this round 1 that it feels like it's gone by pretty quickly. Next Monday will be my last very low calorie day. And then I'll be moving into phase 2. And let's see, this week I don't know, I keep learning so much every week. I know that the weight loss apocalypse calls it a mind-body method, but really um, the ability to connect with my body has made it a spiritual experience. You know, that realization that everything is connected, and even though I've lived with it disconnected, doesn't um, that's not the way it's supposed to be. That's why I'm overweight. That's why I've had issues, and so being able to connect my mind with my spirit or my soul and my body. I'm not there 100% yet, but I am definitely more there than I've ever been. And I really do feel like I can honestly be one of those people that say, I finally feel comfortable in my own skin. I'm not at a weight, or I don't even know what my weight is, so who knows. But I know that my body is going to continue to change because this is not what it was designed to carry around. I still have extra fat that's going to go away because that's not what my body was designed to be like. But that change doesn't change me. It doesn't change me internally, and that's exciting. So for me, it's a mind-body spiritual method, and it's really cool to have the ability to trust my body. And I watched a video where Robin Woodall was talking about your body is of the earth. It came from the earth, and it's made of the same elements that the earth are made of, carbon and nitrogen and all of those things, and it will return to the earth, and it will, uh, you know, and that's true. And we all have different ways of looking at things. For me, it says that God created Adam from the dust of the earth and he breathed life into him, and she talks about that Mother Nature has lent you this body for a time period to have an experience on this earth. And I agree with that too. I think that God gave us these bodies, and that these bodies have inherent knowledge from their creators. And that's why we can trust that it knows when it's hungry, and it knows when it needs to rest, and it knows when it's full, and it knows when it needs to move, and that we can trust that because it comes from a very trustworthy source. And being able to connect with that and to be able to trust my body, because I haven't trusted my body since puberty. When I gained weight and I didn't understand why, I became at odds with my body. My body is not doing what I want it to do. It's against me. And I would try and manipulate and control it to do things, and in order to maintain that control, so say I did a low carb thing one time, I lost 38 pounds, and that was great and wonderful until I realized that I had to keep eating low carb to make my body stay that way, and I didn't want that life. So then I was at odds with my body again because it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. So this has been just life-changing just in that way. I learned a couple new little things this week from this round. One was my husband told me that I was looking good a couple times, and the old me would not have taken that for what he intended it to be. He intended that to be a positive remark, a remark of appreciation and support, but the old me would have taken that as that means he wasn't satisfied with the way I looked before, instead of looking at what it really was. And I just read Teen Faye's book, and she has a couple chapters on that, and she talks about when she was skinny, she resented the guys that suddenly wanted to date her. And when she was overweight, she resented the guys who didn't want anything to do with her. And that's, I think that we can do that with our spouses, and I've done that with my spouse, and that's not fair. And so it was good for him to be able to say, "You're looking good," and that I was able to just receive that in the way that he intended it. So that was good. I think the other thing that I'm really happy about is through being able to trust my body and through the education that I've received from the videos from Weight Loss Apocalypse and watching other people's videos and looking at comments and different things, is I have more realistic expectations of my body. Personally, I've been able to see some changes that happen in my cycle. Now I have a reasonable expectation of what to expect during those times, each time it happens each month. And just like before, when we don't understand why we can't eat the same amount of food as that person over there without gaining weight, we had an unreasonable expectation. I should be able to eat as much as that person and not gain weight, right? We're the same height or whatever. Now, with new information and new knowledge, that's not true. I have more fat on my body, which means I am going to need to eat less often, and I'm going to need to eat less food before I feel full, until there is no extra fat on my body. When there's no extra fat on my body, I'm going to have to eat more often. I'm going to have to eat more food to feel full, and that's a realistic expectation that I didn't know about before. So it's good to know. Like, I'm thinking ahead when we go out to eat or we have a special dinner or something like that. I know that I might order the same exact stuff that I normally order, my favorite dishes, but I'm only going to eat a very small amount of salad, a very small amount of the entree, and a couple bites of dessert before I can realistically expect to be full. And then I'm going to throw the salad away because it's going to be nasty. I'm going to take the rest of the entree home and look forward to eating it again. And I'm going to take the rest of the dessert home and look forward to eating it again. And it might take me 2 more times at home before I actually finish it. And that is a realistic expectation to have of my body going into phase 2 and then phase 3, until I'm at a point where there isn't as much extra fat on my body. And then I'll probably still have to do it in 2 times at least, because we get served portions that are just too big. So that's exciting to have realistic expectations so that I can continue to trust my body and have some idea of what to expect. And I did notice that getting in touch with your body isn't only about hunger and fullness. That is the area that I need to work on. But for me, I'm so goal-oriented and task-oriented because I used to measure myself by what I accomplished. I felt good about myself if I accomplished a lot of things on my task list or my goal list, and I've moved away from it being a source of pride for my identity, but I still have things I gotta get done, and I used to try and move through the task list. So you have a work mode, and then at the end of the work mode you have relax mode, and during relax mode I don't want to do any work, and I don't allow myself to have any rest before the work is done. It's how I used to live, and that's not healthy because I run myself down past zero trying to get it all done before I can rest. And instead I need to listen to my body when it says you need a time to rest. I need to stop, sit down, have a cup of tea or a cold glass of sparkling water or something, and relax. And it's like 10 minutes and I'll feel better, and then I can go back. And I remember reading now years ago a book about anxiety and depression, and that when you are in work mode you have these certain hormones that go and they help you with your work. But if you don't stop every few hours and kind of reset, look back on what you've done, appreciate the work that you've already accomplished, tell yourself great job, that helps to pull those hormones down, because there's a different set of hormones that go with the appreciation and the rest and taking a break. And then when you have more work to do, you're not skyrocketing those hormones. So I can see that that is true And when I actually stop and take a break, I get more done and I'm not exhausted at the end of the night with no patience left for my family. So, and I also noticed too that when I did push myself past the point where I really should have stopped to rest and I was too tired and I wanted to, okay, I need a reset. I noticed that while I was making hot tea, I had this urge or this temptation or this memory or whatever you want to call it to go get a handful of chocolate chips and pop them in my mouth. Like, because I probably used to medicate with sugar when I had a low energy and I knew I still had more work to do. So it was like late afternoon, I was tired, but I still had more work to do, and so, that's another place where I probably ate outside of hunger was sugar when I'm feeling low energy. Um, and then I think the other thing is I know that like if I go to bed at 9 o'clock or when I first start to feel tired and I actually go to sleep, when I wake up in the morning, I feel good. I feel like skinnier. I feel like stronger and healthier. And hold on, my kid's coming home. And so really quick, because he just got home, and I was trying to finish this before he got home. Um, anyways, I feel better, and I actually feel skinnier when I get enough sleep. And I notice that when I don't get enough sleep, I stay up too late, and I don't get enough sleep. I feel kind of puffy and groggy in the morning, and so that's one area I want to work on. I want to get more sleep, rest when I need to rest, and just keep on trucking. And well, not round two, but phase two, no starches, no sugars, is on its way, and I'm sure I'll learn a lot more then. All right, thanks, bye.